Welcome to Designing with Purpose. This is a conversation about architecture, but more importantly, it's about the people and organizations buildings are meant to serve. I'm your host, Kyle Stuart, and today in the studio, I've got Jeremy Bartlett and Dave Rasco once again, and today we're going to be talking all about clarity and how do you guys and the team at Thrive provide clarity from the start of a project for your clients, because as we all know, many people, whether it's a regular home project or a big commercial project that you guys work on with your team at Thrive, we go into it with all these expectations and anticipation and don't always have a clear picture of what it's all going to look like and how we get from point A to point B and what steps are next. So for clients and those that you work with, that's a huge part of the process. And I know you guys really strive to create that clarity all along the way, but especially upfront at the beginning. So, Jeremy, I'll start with you, but what are kind of the things early on in a project that you have to make sure are clear to the client upfront so that they're not disappointed later on?
Yeah, I think the two big things. Well, first off, I want to say this is episode number 2 for us, so it's pretty exciting.
Yes, it is.
We're going to get better and better at this as we go, but hopefully a few people tune in and we have a little fun with this. We're all as a group here going to try to have a little bit more fun as we go, so should be good.
Yeah,
but
well,
go Kyle.
Sorry to interrupt. Yeah, I know you guys, and you are a fun group to work with, and that's not always easy to convey in the architecture space. I know, because you've said it's a little bit more serious a lot of the time, but yeah, you guys have a lot of fun along the way, which is important.
Yeah. You got to have some fun. It is serious, but if you don't have fun, then why even do it, right?
That's right.
Yeah, I mean, there's two things, right? So schedule and dollars, money. Those are the two things that create the huge stress on projects. We're dealing with large dollar volumes and timelines. Meeting government timelines, meeting owners' expectations, and all kind of timelines and financials obviously also tie together, right? If I can't get you up and running and quickly, a lot of times that means that your bottom line is affected. So, for us, it's getting organized in the front end. You treat it like a funnel, right? We start with the big picture ideas and the programming and all the main elements, and we work on those details and bring it all in to the point where we're coming down to construction documents and getting it out the door. And that process, it happens step by step over multiple meetings, but the game plan going in is develop what the program is going to be in the main pitfalls and set up our schedule and work through all those elements and put together a streamlined process that the owner can rely on us to, based on our expertise and dealing with the communities and dealing with the different approval process, rely on us to kind of pull that through and push it forward. So, yeah.
Yeah. Dave, is there anything that you really focus on clarifying first for clients, or are there things that they come into the project thinking, oh yeah, we're going to talk about this, and you kind of have to redirect the conversation?
Well, I think what's interesting is every project is unique. I mean, every project that comes in, they're going to follow a similar path, right? We're designing a building or some sort of built environment that gets built and occupied, but every project has its own kind of challenges and parameters. An example right now, we're working with a client on a possible restaurant and banquet facility, and like one of the big issues that we're dealing with is sprinkler systems, right? So if you get up to a certain occupant load or a certain size building, it's going to trigger certain code requirements for sprinklers. That's a big cost, especially if a client was on a well. So now they have to build a holding tank to hold all the water they'll supply the sprinkler. And do you size back your building a little bit so that you don't have to hit the triggers that require sprinkling? Or some of these big picture costs that go into it. What type of materials are you using for the construction type? Siting of the building, size of the footprint. It's a lot of these big picture ideas that we do try and help advise and kind of rein in those first couple of meetings and help provide some clarity and direction for our clients.
I gotta think that if anyone's watching this, they must be on the edge of our seat talking about these sprinklers.
Right. I know I am. I mean, that's what,
Absolutely.
That's good to know, because most people probably come into these projects thinking, thinking more of the finishing touches, the finishes, the furniture, the color on the walls. That's what I tend to think of when I think of the end result of a project and how you want it to feel. But you guys, as the experts, come alongside them and say, let's think about sprinklers first and what that's going to mean for the final cost and the scope of the project. Along
Yeah,
with
and
all,
obviously, I mean, that's just one example. As I mentioned, every
Details.
project has different parameters. We happen to have a meeting the last couple of days with a client, and that happened to be what came up. But as you mentioned, Kyle, that's another good point, that clients a lot of times will come in with, this, they want to see the vision of the end product. They want to know what kind of carpet are we putting in, what flooring, what are the cabinets going to look like, and that's another part of our job at the front end, is pulling everybody back and saying, all right, no. We have to understand the big picture. Yeah. What are your overall goals and ideas? How is this space going to function and flow for you? And then as we progress through adding details, it's like an onion. You can continue to peel back the layers until you get down to the final result. You do get to those details at the end, but helping advise clients and steer them and kind of guide them through that process is one of the things we really focus on.
Knowing what details matter.
Yeah. At what stage. Yeah.
It's experience.
Yeah. Well, and with all those details, it's easy to see how someone could quickly get overwhelmed with all of those things. So how do you help pace the project and help the client not become overwhelmed with all those details?
Well, there's really a step-by-step process when we talk schematic design development, construction documents, and CA. There's that step-by-step process. We lay it out based on past experience and project types and our deadlines for like a city submittal, and maybe we got rezoning, maybe we got planning commission, maybe we got architectural review board. We know what we have to get into in the beginning. We do all the investigation, the research on that, and then we lay out the roadmap.
Yeah. And I think also coming into the meetings with these clients, we have with the experience that we have in the years that we've been doing this, we can come in with kind of a prepared outline for every meeting. And we, on the back end, we kind of have it mapped out on where we need to get to in the next 2 weeks or 4 weeks. And we help steer that process, coming in with a clear agenda for every meeting. And these are the things we're going to cover this week. We will get to this stuff in the next couple of weeks, and helping, again, give them kind of an outline of where we're going to get to and how we're going to get there is helpful for clients.
And the funny thing, at the same time, well, it sounds like it's a major, like, the process and it's all perfect. The reality is that projects are messy, and no path is the same for every project. So there's a little bit of freelancing as we go through the process, right? It's like, we're going this way. Pivot, we got to go that way. Yep. So that's just par for the course. Yeah.
Yeah, well, and I think that's to be expected, and I would imagine most clients understand that, but it's still I'd much rather freelance with somebody who knows what they're doing than try to, work with somebody who you feel like they're guessing all the time. So you guys really you don't remove the uncertainty of a project, because like you said, it can be messy, but you remove that kind of stress and you give peace of mind because of your expertise, because you at least know generally what's coming next. And if there's a curveball, you can help them navigate it.
Yeah, well, there's always curveballs. I think that if anyone walked into a project and said, "Oh my goodness, this is so perfect," no, there's always curveballs. Construction is messy.
Yep.
I think setting those expectations up front is extremely important as well. Those are. We should do a whole other podcast on that.
There you go. Expect the unexpected.
And expect the unexpected.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, maybe some other time we could get into some of the biggest curveballs you guys have ever faced and how you overcame those challenges.
Worst stories
are those are always good. That's right. Anything else to add about providing clarity to clients early on before we end and wrap this up?
Yeah, I don't think so. Like I say, I just to kind of wrap it up, I think that again, with all the architects that we have in our group here and the years of experience we have, we've seen a lot of different things come up. A lot of projects started one way and ended up going a different direction. A lot of changes happen, unknown surprises always happen, but we've seen a lot of it. So I think we're confident in our ability to work with all different types of clients on projects and help guide them through this process. It's messy and it's intimidating, right? People come in, and in a lot of these, it's a once in a lifetime kind of a deal. You're talking big dollars, you're talking big commitment. And so we want people to come in and feel a level of safety and comfort that we will help them, guide them through this process and get them to the finish line, and they're going to be successful with it.
I think we all kind of have that personality type of like, hey, we want to earn your trust.
Yeah.
We I wake up every day and hope that everyone trusts me. Like I view the world that way. Maybe it sounds a little odd to the average person, like what a weirdo, he wakes up that way. But but I'm not. That's not a sell technique. That's literally how I think about things. Like I want people to respect, trust, and know that when they work with us, that they're getting the best. So, and I think that the whole team here carries that same model. And yeah, I think it shows in our work. I hope it shows in our work.
Yeah, well, I can tell it's definitely part of the culture with the team at Thrive Architects. And if you are somebody who's listening to this episode 2 of Designing with Purpose, and you're early on in a project and you need that peace of mind, you're starting to feel overwhelmed or you're not sure where to start, I mean, these are the guys to talk to for sure, as they will walk you through the process from start to finish and provide that clarity that you need all along the way. So if somebody wants to get a hold of you, what's the best way to do that, you guys?
Well, I appreciate the plug. Thanks, Kyle. Our website, thrive-architects.com, is one way. Our phone number, 833-380-6180. That's another way. Anything else you want to put out in the universe?
I don't think so. I mean, they can message us on Facebook too, I think, right?
Yeah, you could send it through Facebook. I might check that once a year, so try not to do that. But no, but you possibly could do it that way. We do get a message here or there, but it's a terrible way to communicate. Let's be honest, people.
It's true. If you want to get a hold of them, call them directly or visit the website. You can contact them via email there. Once again, that's thrive-architects.com or 833-380-6180. Start the conversation. Thanks so much for spending time with us today on Designing with Purpose, episode number 2, and we will see you next time.